Nature is connection. It is the intricate, sprawling interconnection of each ripple, fern, or firefly. The connection between myself and the mountains, between the trees and the vines, between the water and the sky. To pause and to notice is to acknowledge this interconnection and our place within it.
You're excited.
It is to realize that we are both as significant as the mountains carved into the skyline and as insignificant as a single leaf that falls from the canopy. If we sit still and accept ourselves as part of the system, then magic unfolds around us. The animals can see this too. They hold a deep trust for us after years of building this connection with them. Humans so often think of ourselves as separate from nature, as a species who are not animals, and we often think of nature as a place to visit or an interest to engage in. But the truth is that we are nature, and to care for the earth is to care for ourselves.
Ducks waggle their tail when they're happy, and she's been waggling her tail so much, and yawning is the other sign of a very happy duck, and she keeps yawning. You're very happy, and your name is Happy.
The spring birds are so loud, their birdsong echoing through the mountains. The connection we have with these birds has also grown over the years. The butcherbirds sit above us in the branches as we garden, and they swoop for worms. When we're weeding, they follow us around the farm and sing above in the treetops. The goats have accepted us as part of their flock, and if we sit with them in the morning, they come to cuddle and play. All of the babies are so trusting. Their whole lives they've known us, so I don't know if they think that they are human or if they think that we are goats, but they accept us as part of their herd. Come on. Their mama moth used to not trust us at all. She came to the farm as an older baby and was terrified of humans, but slowly over the years she's begun to trust us more and more, and now she loves to cuddle almost more than any of the goats. The dresses that we're wearing are from Sonderflor, who are a sustainable brand focusing on creating beautiful linen pieces that feel like they're out of a fairy tale. We are wearing dresses from their new Fall/Winter 25-26 collection, and they're so beautifully made and designed. During September, Sonderflor are celebrating their birthday and are inviting everyone to celebrate with them with 15% off all products excluding last chance garments that won't be produced anymore because they already have a discount, home linen, accessories, petticoats and gift cards.
So you probably often hear me ask the question, can fashion ever be sustainable? And I think this is very complex, and a lot of the times, unfortunately, no, it can't. But I think there are exceptions to this. And one of those exceptions is making your own clothes or upcycling, buying secondhand. And another exception to that is there are some brands that are doing really incredible things, and one of them is Sonderflor, who we're super excited to partner with today. Sonderflor create beautiful linen dresses that aren't only sustainably made and ethically made, but they're also timelessly made. So they're designed in a way that these pieces are never going to go out of style. So it means that it's sustainable in this extra step that we often don't think about. My favorite thing about the Sonderflor dresses are they're created in this traditional style where all of these sewing techniques that maybe your grandmother used to use, they are using in their designs, which I think is really beautiful, really incredible, and really important. So they're using these hems, which always remind me of my grandmother because she used to sew these hems on everything she made. So they're these thick, beautiful hems that hide all of the seams, and they're just so incredible. But most often brands don't use this kind of sewing anymore because it's too expensive, so people are prioritizing profits instead, so they're not going to create beautiful finishes like this. But Sonderflor are prioritizing beauty and traditions and keeping these beautiful set sewing techniques alive. Sonderflor have given us a code, which is Mother the Mountain, and that will get you 15% off if you want to get your own beautiful timeless piece that you'll probably be able to pass down to your children. It's so beautiful. So from a skirt, I upcycled this top the other week and I really love it. It's kind of reignited my love for upcycling. So today, my plan is, I've got this dress, which I got from the op shop the other day, and it's really cute, and I really love the fabric and the shirring all over. But the elastic has come a bit loose in a few places, so it's not fitting very nicely, and I don't like the tightness all over the body. I feel like that's a bit ugly. So I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna make it into a few different things. So this is the dress, but I feel like it's just pretty ugly the way that it's so tight on the body. I don't like it, it's not my style. But I think that it would make a really cute top, was my original plan. Just cutting it off, and then I didn't know what to use this fabric for. But Julia pointed out, what if I make a little skirt as well, and then I feel like that's like so much nicer. So then I can have like a top and a skirt, and then potentially I've got some leftover fabric which I might make another top out of. This kind of upcycling is so easy because I'm literally just gonna cut this, and then I'm gonna hem both the top and the skirt, and it's already made. So it's kind of a really fun project because it doesn't require the normal amount of pattern making and cutting and deciding and twirling and then redesigning and then making it again that normally happens when I start a project. This is just easy. Okay, this is the scary part. This is when I cut it, which is always, I'm so scared of ruining something, but I'm not gonna ruin it, I'm gonna make it better. So I just need to remember to add seam allowance or hem allowance. I'm gonna add a little bit extra for overlocking and then a little bit extra for hemming. So like 2 centimeters will do it. I think upcycling is like the perfect place to start with the hobby of making your own clothes because it's way less stressful than making something from scratch, and you kind of can learn a lot from altering someone else's sewing. So just by like looking at the seams and looking at the different things that they've done and then imitating that when you upcycle it, then you can create really beautiful things, and you can learn so much from creating those beautiful things. I will warn you though that sewing is a hobby that takes your whole life. You get so enthralled in the project of making something from scratch that you forget that the world around you is happening. And I have this really bad habit of accidentally cutting myself a fringe every time I sew. So I think I lean in too close to the machine, and I don't know if you can see it, but I lose this whole section of my hair from here. And I never notice until like the day later, and I like see this weird little fringe coming out of my forehead, and I'm like, where did that come from? And then I remember that I got too invested in my sewing project and forgot that hair existed, and my sewing machine chewed it all up, so be careful. All right, so this is a little top now, which I just have to hem this. And then I haven't cut the skirt yet because I lost the pin of where it's supposed to be, but I'll try that on again and then make that into the little skirt, and then I'm gonna have some spare fabric. Okay, I'm cutting the skirt. Also a scary moment, but exciting. I think starting off upcycling is also smart because so many people start the hobby of sewing, and honestly, it's pretty disappointing when you make something and it falls apart or it doesn't fit, or all the things that happen so often in sewing. Even when you've been doing it for years, it still can be really hard sometimes to make everything go the way you want it, and that can be so disappointing. So many times that people just stop there and they, you know, think they'll never sew again. But I think that's why doing a small project or like upcycling, or you know, going off a good pattern or something for the first time you do it is a lot more smart than just trying for something grand and then being sad when it doesn't work. I think that's the cool thing about upcycling is I didn't know what to do here and whether to overlock it when it was all tight so that it kind of stayed together, or to pull it and then overlock it flat. And so I simply looked at what they did up here and I saw that they pulled it flat. So then I imitated that and I learned a lesson of what to do next time, which is just so cool. Rolling a bobbin on this machine is so easy, but I always procrastinate and I always just like well, I only roll like one bobbin, and I should, because I run out of bobbins so often, roll lots of white bobbins and have heaps of them ready. And that would be the smart thing to do, and then I'd never run out. But instead, every single time I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered, I'll just roll one. And then I regret it next time, but that's exactly what I'm doing today, so good luck to us. So now I'm just gonna pull this and so that it's all completely stretched out, and then I'm gonna sew, and as I sew, it's gonna gather back up into itself because the gather's already in there. And then that's gonna have a really nice, neat hem. Ta-da! I finished the top, so now for the skirt. This is so easy, I love it. So this, as I sewed it, kind of stretched out a bit, so the top is way more stretched out than the bottom. So I have a feeling that if I tried it on, I would hate it, which I'm not gonna do. Instead, I'm just gonna fix it before that so that I don't even have that time of the sewing experiment where I get really sad. There's always the arc of sewing where, you know, you think it's amazing and then you hate it, and then normally it comes back round. So I'm gonna skip the arc this time. I'm going straight to the nice part. I'm gonna put a bit of hat elastic in there, I think, and I think that will make it fit really nicely. The problem is that I have so much elastic. So I have both of my grandmother's sewing collections. So I have elastic that's probably from the 1950s. I don't even know if elastic existed in the 1950s, but if it did, this is what it was. And it's not elastic anymore. It's just so stretched out and broken, and most of the elastic is like that. So I have to search through for a good piece. And even then, it normally wears out in like a year. This tool is so incredible. For so many years, I used a safety pin and I thought it was fine, and it was not. This tool changes everything. It makes it so much easier. You like poke it through, catch it on the other side, and then you can just pull it. I'm so happy with it. It looks so cute. It's so much better than before, and I love the skirt and the top separately. I feel like they'll look really cute with different things. I love it. I think I'm gonna keep sewing because I have a tiny bit of scrap, and why wouldn't I make something else of it? So this is the amount of fabric that's left, and obviously it would make a cute top. So I'm gonna make that now, and it's going to be zero waste and another top out of this dress, which is pretty cool because it went from being one dress that didn't suit me to a top, another top, and another skirt. So that's really exciting. Ta-da! This is the top. It's so cute as well. So now I feel like this will go really well together. And then also the other top with this skirt looks really cute. And then also just the skirt with a different top, this top with jeans, the other top with jeans or a cute skirt. There's so many options. I've just made my wardrobe so full of cool, amazing new clothes. I'm excited.
I've been working lots on the bamboo camper this week too. I added bracing, but to be honest, this was a bit of a failure. I took it for a test drive to a friend's place and it fell apart on the way. But after a good afternoon of splitting and getting inspired with a few other bamboo-obsessed friends, I came home and fixed the bracing. This time putting longer pins that reach all the way through the bamboo. Hopefully this works, but I haven't tested it yet, so I'm just crossing my fingers. The whole journey of failure and hard work is on my own channel, Anastasia Vanderbyl, so you should check that out. Thanks so much to our patrons for your support on our journey.